Hello everyone, and welcome again to the Valeo Experience YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Giselle Miller from the lovely island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Welcome to Season 2, where we are looking at resilience and bouncing back from life's challenges and hardships. Specifically, we are going to be looking at surviving domestic violence, domestic abuse. Now, persons generally have this question: why is she staying in that relationship? That is something that we hear all the time, that persons cannot understand that if someone is being abused in any way, why would you want to stay? And there are so many different variables, so many factors to consider when we are thinking about relationships, the dynamics of a relationship, and why a woman or even a man, because we cannot deny the fact that there are some men who are also victims of domestic violence. Why would they stay? There is this thing called love. Yes, everybody wants a love connection. Everybody wants to be in a relationship with someone where someone is looking out for their best interest, treating them well. But oftentimes, in that quest for love, the euphoria of that love, you may find that certain red flags are missed. Certain things that person should zone in on during the dating and the courtship and all of that different, that moment where the butterflies are in the stomach and everybody's feeling so happy and floating on cloud nine. You tend to miss a lot of the critical things about an individual's personality, the way they handle stress and anger and all of these things. And because of that, you may end up in a very volatile relationship. One of the things I'm going to say to you, that if you have lived through a domestic violence relationship or situation and you're now on the way out, you're now on the opposite side where you can say, I have survived, you have to get to that place now where you appreciate yourself. I'm going to speak to you directly, that you have to start loving yourself all over again. You have to get to the place where you do not see yourself anymore as a victim, but rather as a survivor. And eventually you're going to get to that place where you see yourself as a thriver, where your experience, you're going to turn it around into a testimony, into something that can be used to impact not only your life, but the lives of so many other women and so many other men. So, one of the things, your self-esteem, that is one of the main things about domestic violence that is destroyed. Your self-image, your self-value, your self-confidence, your self-worth. You have to get to that place where you actually start loving yourself again and appreciating yourself, valuing yourself, that you are worthy of life, that you are enough, that when you look at yourself, you do not see the scars. You do not see the pain only, because they're always going to be there. But you get to the place where even as you see the scar, you can even embrace yourself to say, I made it out. Very important. I made it out, which says that you have the resilience, you have the power, you have that will within you to say that I'm going to stick it out. The hardest part may be over, and you have to now basically push yourself to that space where you can actually start living, not just existing, but start living, being grateful for the life that you have been afforded. So self-image, that's the first thing we have to work on. And if it is that you're at that place where you are now out and you're feeling that, oh, this is overwhelming, I don't think I can do it by myself, please seek help. A psychologist, a trained psychologist, especially someone who has dealt with trauma incidences, would be the ideal person for you to work with. And of course, I would invite anyone to contact the Valeo Experience. I am willing and ready, and there are other therapists within the Valeo's network who will be able to work with you. I want you to get to the place of understanding that even though persons may look at you in a particular way, persons may say certain things about you, persons may call you certain things, it is not what persons say, but rather what you answer to. So ultimately, your healing process, it's in your hands. Ultimately, you are the one who's going to have to decide what is it you want. And I know that, it may not feel to you as if you have that power, but trust me when I tell you, you have the power within you. Now, let's say, for instance, you're not yet over the fence, where you are out of the situation where you are a survivor, but you're still within that relationship and you're feeling intimidated, you're feeling scared. Let me tell you that there is hope, that there are persons, there are organizations that you can tap into that can actually get you out of that situation and in a place of safety, especially if you have children. Do not be intimidated to the point that you are allowing yourself to be so imprisoned that you can't move. Here in St. Vincent, I would encourage anyone to touch base with the police force, yes, National Mobilization, Gender Affairs, the Ministry of Health, your pastor, anyone that you can trust. Get in touch with them and let them know that you are at that place in your life where you want to break free from the abuse that you have been experiencing. Now, you have to work your way against the shame and the guilt, because all of that as well is going to be something that you have to battle with on a daily basis. But again, therapy is going to be very important, and you have to be honest. Yes, you have to be honest. Because what we find is that the more we create a facade and we create this mask and we pretend that things are what they are not, you're not going to get the breakthrough that you need. And one of the things I'm going to encourage anyone to do outside of seeking help, you have to be aware of the cycles in your life. Because persons who have experienced abuse, chances are you are also now becoming an abuser to other persons, because you internalize a lot of things in terms of how you have been treated. It becomes part of your persona. So we have to be very careful about cycles being perpetuated and repeated. So even when we think about you being a victim of domestic violence, you have to be careful that your children are not going to be a victim as well, because now you have learned how to react violently, when you can basically take control of the situation, diffuse it, and respond differently. Okay? So, domestic abuse. It is a very daunting life experience for anyone to experience, for anyone to have to deal with. But at the same time, I want to let you know there is hope. And as you would have heard from our testimony from our survivor, she made it out. And I am trusting that if you're in that similar situation, you're going to make it out as well. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to want it bad enough that you have to say that enough is enough and I'm ready to get out. Okay? So again, if you need to contact anyone for help, feel free to contact us here at the Valeo Experience, www.valeoexperience.com, the Valeo Experience at gmail.com if you cannot make a phone call. If you are in St. Vincent, 1784-598-7772, or if perchance you are able to get on Facebook, send us a message on the Valeo Experience Facebook page. All right? Thank you guys again for coming on. Take care. Bye-bye.